Today on Pots and Trowels we're pruning the autumn raspberries, which is brought to you with the support of Darlac, Mr Fothergill's and Cobra Garden. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. I'm in the veg garden today doing a bit of pruning. These are the autumn fruiting raspberries that produce lovely juicy fruits right the way from late August for us through September and into October until we get the first frost really. And this is a variety that I've grown for a number of years called Joan J, and it's a really good reliable cropper, really good fruiter. And we're here now towards the end of February and it's the time to prune them back, and these are so easy to prune. Summer ones are easy, but we do it at a different time of the year. But what we do with the autumn fruiting varieties is cut everything back to ground level, simply because they produce their flowers and fruit on the new growth. Now, if we were to leave these, and we can see that they're just now starting to sprout a little bit there, if we leave them, they would produce an earlier crop on there, and they would produce some new canes that would probably fruit as well. But I think that weakens it, so I prefer to cut everything down to ground level at this time of the year to give them a start. So it is literally down to ground level. So you want a nice sharp pair of secateurs, and basically what we're going to do is just cut everything down to as close to ground level as we can. And if there's any dead stumps from previous years, we can knock those off as well. So it's quite severe pruning, and I think people worry that they're being cut back too hard, but it doesn't do them any harm at all. And what will happen is buds from just ground level here or just below ground level will grow, and we'll get new shoots that are 4 feet tall by August, and that's the wood that produces the fruit. So it's quite satisfying just to knock everything down to ground level. So once you've pruned them down, it's just then a case, and obviously I've got the rest of the row to prune down with my faithful assistant here who's always by my side. It's just then a case of just going through any weeds, just take them out. I like to start weed free, so anything there's a weed that we need to get out, a little dandelion, and these are just weeds that have grown really over autumn and winter. I mean, that's a dandelion there, so we need to get rid of those, and it just loosens up the soil a little bit. It will help it to get some air down to the roots. And then once we've done that along the row, just have that little tickle along with a little hand fork like that. What I'm going to do is to give them a little bit of fertiliser, and for this I'm using blood, fish and bone, which is a good organic slow release fertiliser. You could use poultry pellets, you could use Grow More if you want to, but I think it's important that because we expect a good crop off these, we've got to give them something back. Compost alone isn't enough, we need a few extra nutrients, and it's literally just a case of sprinkling a little bit of this over where we've pruned them down. So a handful every sort of yard or metre along the row. It's really simple, just sprinkle that along. We're not going to have to worry about working that in, for the simple reason what I'm going to do next, and just to finish off, is to give them a mulch with some compost. And this is homemade garden compost that I'm using, that we made last year. We took it out the bin in the winter, so it's just a case of giving them a couple of inches of this lovely compost over all those raspberry canes that we've cut down. That will work its way in, the worms will pull it in, it will keep the soil nice and warm. It's started to warm up a little bit now, we've had a bit of sunshine, and it will also retain the moisture which they need to give them good growth. So that's it, we basically finished with them. All we do now is wait until we get that lovely new growth that will start to come through in 2 or 3 weeks time. And finally, we've got all these prunings. Now, these aren't good enough, they're not strong enough to use as plant supports for herbaceous or pea sticks in the garden, because they're quite hollow and they soon rot down. So what I'm going to do is shred them, and then I can use them and mix them in with the compost heap, with soft grass cuttings, any soft material, and this will give a bit of dry structure to it, and they will rot down really well. So I'm just going to put some of these through here, and they go through really quickly. and I'll just show you how it chops them down. And there you can see they're much smaller. So now they can be added to the compost heap, they'll rot down, and then we can use those in the veg garden or the flower borders next year as compost. And all we've got to do now is wait for those lovely raspberries to go, and we can enjoy them with some cream through the summer. Well, I'm going to take advantage of this late winter sunshine and finish pruning the autumn raspberries. But thank you for watching. Please do keep telling all your friends about it. We're going to do lots of growing over the coming months, so please stay with us and share it around. Next week, I'm going to be starting to do a little bit of work on the lawn to get it ready for the summer. See you then. Bye.